We're coming off the heels of week 9 in the National Football League. Welcome into Got It Covered. I'm Giovanni Heater alongside Raza Umarani with you. Raza, a little bit of everything this week. Definitely some more talking points than maybe in weeks past. I think the best place to start, though, Bills take down the Chiefs in Buffalo. Are they the best team in the NFL now? Are they now the team to beat? What do you think?
I don't know, man. The NFL's beating me to a pulp. To a pulp. I'm a shell of the version I once was. 2 months ago, I was on this podcast talking absolutely foul. And God has struck me down and taught me a lesson in humility that perhaps I needed to learn. But I don't know if I deserve any of this, man. I'm just a humble servant. In any case, what was the question? Are the Bills the best team in the NFL? No. But the Bills feel back. That was a very impressive win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, I'll get into the root of my trauma in a moment.
Yeah, for those that
that
don't
was
know, he's a massive Washington Commanders fan
well,
because we
they
do
know.
but we get new traction every week.
That's true. That's
So.
true. Yeah. The Bills are back. It feels like. What did I say in weeks past? I feel like they're just getting to the Chiefs game. And lo and behold, they were just getting to the Chiefs game because you could tell off rip. The Bills came into this game out of the gate with an energy and a play style that we've literally not seen since the fourth quarter against the Ravens. Like, is that a stretch to say? I mean, you
No,
watch
not at
them
all.
much more closely than I do.
It's spot on.
They came out with energy, with effort. They wanted to take it to Kansas City. You can tell how much they don't like the Chiefs because they play so much more aggressively. They're more aggressive on third down. They're more aggressive on fourth down. They run the ball obviously extremely well regardless, but it feels like the offensive line just wants it a little bit more. And Josh turns into the Terminator against the Kansas City Chiefs for whatever reason. And so they looked fantastic. Obviously the second half was a bit of a slog. It was a bit of a slog on both sides, but the first half was so remarkably impressive. I mean, you're Buffalo and you score on three of your first four possessions, three of your first five possessions, and it's like it's 21-10, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, these are the Bills. And I was clutching my pearls a little bit, when Mahomes converts a freaking 4th and 17 and
That was
Tyler
nuts.
Bass doinks a field goal and there's
No,
22
it was
seconds left. I
Prater.
was like, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Matt Prater doinks a field goal with 22 seconds left. And I'm like, oh, something stupid's about to happen. And like it almost did. But
Yeah, Tyquan Thornton had a chance at that ball, but Bishop broke it up and he had a crazy game.
yeah, Cole Bishop played fantastic. Maxwell Harrison obviously got his first interception in his first game, if I'm not mistaken.
Second game.
Second
Played
game.
last week. Yep.
So they're not the best team in the NFL. I would personally currently give that to the LA Rams. I don't know if you'll have any qualms with that.
Wow.
But they look back. I just want to see them play this level of football consistently. Obviously, you're not going to get up for every game the way that you get up for the Chiefs.
Sure.
Nobody does. They get everybody's best shot. Kansas City does. But I want to see Buffalo go back to being consistent because we can't just see them play well against Baltimore and the Chiefs in the regular season. Like, no, I want to see you play this level of football against the Jets. I want to see you do this against the Patriots, especially now down the stretch. So I think now that they're on the plus side of the bye, they're going to find some stuff to keep this ball rolling.
I think the thing that impressed me the most out of Buffalo was what you got to see on the defensive side of the ball, right? They were after Patrick Mahomes all evening long. I thought Joey Bosa really is an X factor for Buffalo that they quite simply have not had at all. They brought in Von Miller hoping that would be it. Greg Rousseau's had flashes. AJ Epinesa, when they drafted him, they thought he could be a guy that could spark like that. And it just wasn't fully there. And Joey Bosa was after Patrick all night. He was in on every play. He was even making big plays in the run game as well. Like Joey Bosa is exactly what Buffalo needed. This looks like early career LA Joey Bosa that we didn't know if we'd ever see again. Like this is like a return to form season that Joey Bosa is putting together
because he's healthy.
Yeah. and he's playing tremendous football for the Bills. That's going to be the catalyst, I think, that can carry them in a playoff run here. I also think defensively, though, for Buffalo, they built this team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and probably the Miami Dolphins as well. That's your division, what have you. But they have built this team, and they've been on record saying it, to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs really struggle to run the football. That's probably Buffalo's one weakness, is stopping the run. But Buffalo was so strong in the pass game. Their coverage held up when it had to. I thought Maxwell Hairston was unbelievable. It wasn't just the play with the interception either, because you could look at that interception as like a punt in a way. Like the pressure was great, and they forced Mahomes to try and make a play, and he gets the
It was
pick,
third and
whatever.
forever.
Right. But the play that impressed me was the one where Hairston's, I don't even remember if it was in the first or the second half. He's just going stride for stride with Xavier Worthy, and Worthy's in a full sprint trying to create space, and Hairston looks like he's running at half speed, just lockstep with him, and the ball like hits Hairston's back incomplete. Like it was just one of those plays that you're like, oh man, this is what they were missing in pass coverage, because Hairston just got back this past week against the Carolina Panthers. This is what you wanted out of your first round pick, right? That's the reinforcements that you were looking for. And Matt Milano, like, I don't think Matt Milano is going to be back to vintage Matt Milano ever, but when he's on the field, it's just so much more of a cohesive unit defensively. And Matt Milano was back for this game. So if they can just keep staying healthy, they had a big injury on the defensive line in this game. Torn Achilles, going to be out for the year. But if they can just continue to stay healthy defensively, I really think they're going to be able to put this thing together. And then I talked about Raza. I was like, I haven't seen any downfield passing game at all season out of Buffalo. And it really just feels like it's because they were saving it, and they didn't have to pull out the stops because of how well they were running the football against every other team so far this year. They ran the ball well again. James Cook, 27 carries, 114 yards in this game. But then Josh in the passing game, you really can't be more flawless than this. 23 of 26, 273 yards, taking what they give you, accounting for 3 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. He jumps ahead of Mahomes in the MVP betting odds now. Buffalo, I think the most important thing about this game, Raza, because again, it feels like, I mean, Josh is 5-0 in the last 5 tries in the regular season against the Chiefs, 5-1 all time against the Chiefs in the regular season. It's not going to matter till January. But where it does matter is now you can be in a situation that you can earn the playoffs having to run through Western New York. And if you can avoid going to Arrowhead or going anywhere for that matter, you're golden. And the Colts lost this week, and the Chiefs lost this week, and the Bills won this week. And that really helped Buffalo big time. So I don't know that Buffalo's the best team in the NFL, but the Bills are back, baby. The Bills are back.
Yeah, I just want to see it more consistently. Obviously, the schedule is not very difficult at all. You're not playing a team of this caliber again, and probably until you play the Eagles. I know the Patriots are very good and are first place in the division, but nobody thinks the Patriots are better than the Bills, although they beat them. I know the arguments for the other side, but let's be honest with ourselves.
That is going to be a huge game in New England in a couple weeks.
Oh, no question. But again, we got to be
really.
We got to be honest with ourselves. So I want to see how Buffalo continues this. And I want to see how the Chiefs bounce back, because now you're 5-4. And again, the Bills do everything to take away your traditional drop back passing game. Like, they want to be a dink and dunk team with Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and everything. Mahomes averaged like 15 yards per attempt against Buffalo. That's not the way to win a football game if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. So they got to keep him upright. The pass rush was getting after him, and then they have to be able to play their offense. So interested to see what it looks like when they inevitably play each other again in January. And I've said a million times, they could play it anywhere on Earth or in outer space. We've seen Patrick's ability to go on the road and win. This has to be the year Buffalo gets it done, regardless of locale. And I think that they can, because we saw on Sunday what you said come to fruition. They're built to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking across the rest of the NFL, I think a big storyline, the Ravens are back, right? They're 3-5, but 28-6, a win over the Dolphins. I know it's the Dolphins, right? I get all that, but it just goes to show the Ravens are going to compete and have a chance to find their way into the playoffs here with how weak the AFC North is. How about the Vikings? 27-24, a win in Detroit. The Vikings are now 4-4. Lions fall to 5-3. I just thought JJ McCarthy was brilliant in this game, and it went all the way to that final play where he gets the first down on that nice ball.
Back shoulder.
I mean, I just thought JJ McCarthy was really, really solid in this game. And then it was the Vikings defense that stepped up big. I was impressed with Minnesota. This is more about Minnesota, less about Detroit for me. But
I agree.
now all of a sudden, Minnesota's got a shot in this division.
I still think it's an uphill climb for the Vikings. I
only
think
one
JJ
game
McCarthy,
back in Detroit.
I know, but it is week 10. You know what I'm
True.
saying?
Yeah.
And if you want to get into the nuts and bolts, they are in last place. Minnesota is even at 4-4. JJ was up and down, but he was more up than down. I think the Vikings offense was the beneficiary of a ton of short fields in this game. Remember, they had the long kickoff return, they had the blocked kick, they had the David Montgomery fumble, all of which they cashed in on, which is like good that they were opportunistic. But when I watched JJ, because like yourself, I was focused on this game in the 1 o'clock window. He still looks like he's got some work to do, but you can see it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like the fourth quarter of that Bears game, you're like, all right, we can work with this. Clearly, there is a lack of want to throw over the middle, which you're gonna see from rookie quarterbacks or rookie quarterbacks. But when you've got Hawkinson and Addison and Jefferson and Naylor now, who made a huge catch, like.
Yeah.
If they can find a way to open up the middle of the field passing game, that'll go a long way because they can run the ball really effectively with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. So the Vikings, yes, they are in last place. And yes, they've got some figuring out to do still with JJ. You can see it. And if they figure it out, like there's a world where like all 4 teams from the NFC North go to the playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Vikings are a playoff team. But yeah, you can see it. Real quick on the Ravens, it is just the Dolphins, but like Lamar is such a difference maker. I don't know that I would still pick them to win the division. You saw what Pittsburgh did to Indianapolis, and that might be a segue into this. So like we'll see, but I need to see that defense put together competent performances against other competent offenses, which Miami is not. So even though they played a fantastic game against the Dolphins defense, very bend, don't break type of game, let's see what it looks like when they play literally anybody with a pulse, because that will be the telltale sign.
So let's go there. The Steelers take down the Colts 27-20 in Pittsburgh. Colts, man, this was the first time that they've looked this poor all year. Daniel Jones.
But this is a new low, though.
Yeah. Like 6 turnovers?
6 turnovers in a game is nuts.
Insane. And somehow he still throws for 342 yards. But 6 turnovers is preposterous.
Because so many of those turnovers came down the field. Like they had a pick in the red zone, if I'm not mistaken. They had fumbles deep in. They had 5 interceptions and a fumble, right? And the fumble was deep in Pittsburgh territory. A lot of the picks were deeper in Pittsburgh territory. So Pittsburgh was very opportunistic.
How did they only win by 7?
Because they couldn't move the ball. I got to give a shout out to Indianapolis's defense. Pittsburgh's offense ain't much to look at, but Pittsburgh had less than 250 yards of offense in the game. This was about Pittsburgh's defense. I'm going to choose to believe that this was a bad game by Indianapolis because we have so much evidence of them being a wagon on both sides of the ball. The problem is, this was the first game for the Colts against an opponent of any respectable caliber since the Rams game, which they lost, and like they completely fell apart. So I'm like, man, are you just whipping up on these bums? And then when you're going to play a good team, is Daniel Jones going to be Daniel Jones? Like, is that what this is going to be? I don't know. Obviously, the Colts are going to win that division. They're going to be a playoff team, but it's hard to look at games like this and think this team's a Super Bowl contender. It proves the naysayers right. Now, they obviously made a splash deal at the deadline, which we'll get into at the tail end of the show, which might change things, but I don't know that going all in a Super Bowl window with Daniel Jones at the quarterback position is the right move for the Colts. So we'll see how that plays out. I still like them. I still don't think the Steelers are very good. I think it was just one of those games. It was a Mike Tomlin type of game. And
Yeah.
that's really my main takeaway is like, I still think the Colts are better. I still think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They're just not the best team in the NFL or the best team in the AFC for that matter, I think, as it currently stands.
The Patriots just continue to keep winning games. 24-23, the final score in New England over Atlanta. Unfortunately, the Falcons could not help out my Buffalo Bills in that one. The Panthers. The Panthers are 5-4. And
Yes,
they went
they
to
are.
Lambeau and probably won the biggest game the Carolina Panthers have won since like the prime of Cam Newton. Like it feels like going to Lambeau and winning a game like that is a big deal.
Yeah.
And they went, especially with how good Green Bay has been this year at times. This really all comes down to the quarterback play of Jordan Love, man. It's going to hold him back. It's going to hold him back.
Like, he has been so good this year, and then he'll just play a game that makes you bash your head into the wall. Like, it's systemic for me in Green Bay. What did I say like a month ago? Right? I'm like, I like the way this roster is constructed, and Jordan Love is playing well, and that defense is clearly good. But at the end of the day, I don't trust Jordan Love for the most part, and I don't trust Matt LaFleur for the most part. And they were both
In their
terrible
bag.
for the most part. And then in this game, they forget everything. Like
No, that's what I mean.
LaFleur,
They were in their bag with how poor it was. Yeah.
yeah, they were in the wrong bag to be in. That's
Yeah.
for sure. It was tough to watch. Like LaFleur's clock management's terrible. His game management's terrible. His play calling is so conservative. Like, is the reason Jordan Love was so efficient and effective in the first 2 months of the year because LaFleur still has training wheels on him? Like in year 3 as the starter, in year 6 in the NFL? Because in the playoffs, when the going gets tough and Jordan Love has to make a play to win the game, is he going to be able to? Does he have the faith in him? Like, it's so strange. How do we go from a game that he plays against the Steelers to a game that he plays against the Panthers?
Right.
The Steelers defense is clearly very capable of doing things, right? It's a maligned side of the ball, but they just forced 6 turnovers against the best offense in the league. Then you go and play Carolina and it all falls apart. And I think Carolina's good. I don't want to downplay what they're doing. Bryce Young, listen, they could have won this game maybe with me at quarterback just because Rico Dowdle is playing out of his mind, and I want to give him props for that. And I think Teterow and McMillan, they've really got something in that kid. And that defense is also playing very, very well, surprisingly well. Carolina's defense, which was arguably the worst in the NFL last year, but the Packers are just an enigma this year. There's no other way to describe them. Every week I leave thinking, what the hell do I make of this team? Like, do I think they're a top 10 team in the NFL? Absolutely. But where do they go in the top 10 is anybody's guess any given week.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm starting to really scratch my head with the Packers, and we'll see if the Panthers can make things interesting. It's a tough division. But
It's a
we'll
tough
see
conference.
Yeah, it's a tough conference overall. But we'll see if they can continue to keep their foot on the gas here. Broncos pick up another win. Seems like the Texans are dead in the water. Broncos are all of a sudden at 7-2. The Chargers won again this week. Again, just bolstering the fact that I think the AFC West is probably the best division in football. Jaguars beat the Raiders. You got the record broken for longest kick in NFL history in this game, a
Yep. Shout out
68
Cam
yarder.
Little.
Yep, Cam Little with the 68 yarder. So shout out to Cam Little there. The Seahawks. You got 2 minutes because of our time constraints, but the floor is yours as far as the Commanders situation. I did want to ask you though. I mean, you thought Dan Quinn should have taken Jayden out of the game at that point, right? After you punt, you're waving the white flag by punting down as many as they were, right?
I see both sides of the argument. I don't really have a side that I prefer.
Okay.
Jayden Daniels is the type of quarterback that wants to play no matter what. They need the reps together because those guys out there on offense just don't play together. It's a different unit every freaking week at this point. You know, it's not like they got blown out with the starters. They're getting blown out with Treylon Burks and Jalen Lane playing out there, wide receiver. And like they just needed the reps together. The injury obviously sucks and it's heartbreaking. I think even if Jayden could play again this year, I don't think he should. The season is officially lost for the Washington Commanders, which I think everyone can agree on between the injuries and the performance on the field and the roster construction. It's just how tough the rest of the schedule is. It's not like they have a Patriots schedule where they're going to beat everybody down the stretch. Like, nah, they're going to lose a ton of games. Just get your top 10 pick, move on, and reassess in the offseason. But the Seahawks obviously deserve a ton of credit. They also have a shout for best team in the league. I mean, we've sung the praises of their defense all year. We've sung the praises of Sam Darnold all year and Jackson Smith and Jigba. They can run the ball effectively with Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. They are fast. Man, they're young. They're
super
young. And it's
Darnold's a vet in that group.
Exactly. And sometimes that can be to a team's detriment, like we kind of have seen with Green Bay, where like inexperience plays a role, but they've got the right amount of I mean, first of all, they have the youngest head coach in the NFL, right? And they have experience where it counts: the defensive line, the offensive line,
sure,
quarterback. And then they've got these young guys on defense just get after it. Nicky Manwari, Devin Witherspoon, Reek Woolen on the offensive side of the ball, Torrey Horton, JSN. Now you add Rashid Shaheed to the picture because they made a trade yesterday. So the Seahawks are fantastic. I cannot believe they don't play the Rams for another like 3 weeks. I want to see them play the Rams tomorrow because I need to see what that game looks like. So they are an impressive team. And I thought Washington would have a shot in this game just because I thought, you know, Jayden's back. He's healthy. We'll see how it goes. The uniforms looked fantastic on Sunday night on both sides. That was a hell of a uniform matchup under the lights. So,
indeed,
fantastic season brewing in Seattle. Difficult to trust Sam Darnold when the playoffs roll around.
Just ask Minnesota.
Exactly, and nightmare season in Washington. Again, I am beaten to a pulp. I've been squeezed and juiced. It's been brutal for me, but listen. If this is temporary trauma to get to a better long-term result, call me Leslie Odom Jr. because I'm willing to wait for it.
Last thing here to talk about is the trade deadline. Big splashes, a fire sale for the New York Jets.
Good for them.
Yeah, right. Quinnen Williams is headed to the Dallas Cowboys, and then Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts. Felt like the Cowboy, first of all, for first-round picks here. 2 first-rounders for Sauce Gardner. Felt like the Cowboys kind of got hosed here in the sense that they're not competing for a playoff spot right now. So I don't know why they made that choice. And then Indianapolis.
Because they had a first-round pick at their disposal because of the Micah trade. They traded the Packers pick.
Yeah, but
and even
what
then,
is that? What does at your disposal mean? Like you want to use
because they're trading a pick that's not theirs. That's 2 years away. It wasn't the 26 first, it's the 27 first. So the Dallas still has 2 first-round picks in 2026. Like,
yeah. And I mean, they're getting a good ball player, but it just felt like a
Jerry's
weird
whole thing is
deadline.
I agree, but if Jerry's whole thing of stopping the run is really where they want to go, they've turned Micah into a first-round pick and 2 defensive tackles, 2 fantastic defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Which, from that perspective, you're like, I kind of get it. I see both sides. Dallas is always a bit in desperation. I don't think they got hosed because I think that they gave up the right asset, and I think they traded for a very good
player. Yeah. It just, the timing was weird. I would have been fine with it if it wasn't, okay, we're already like basically out of playoff contention and we're at the deadline and we're going to make this move right now. The timing of it felt weird.
And it's also difficult with picks because those picks haven't been made yet. We don't know what it's going to look like. But like for me, I was going to bet. I had people texting me yesterday, like, what the hell are the Jets doing? I felt like I was the only Jets defender in the world. I loved yesterday for the Jets. I would have traded Breece Hall, and I maybe would have traded Garrett Wilson. I'm serious. They have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
The problem, and here's the problem, is that it is the New York Jets, and nothing goes right for them. But because people were asking me, the main question people were asking me is why? Why would you trade your 2 best defensive players, including Sauce, who you just signed to an extension? And my point is, yes, so this is Darren Muji's first year as general manager there. And yes, he did sign Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, but they're not his guys necessarily. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you can ship off guys for premium capital because Sauce is on the last year of his rookie deal, right? So it's not like they owe him a ton of money or anything. You ship off these guys for premium draft capital. You get 3 first-round picks in one day.
Yeah.
Is fantastic. Now you got 2 this year. You got 3 in 2027, and who knows what you could parlay that into for year 1 of a team that needs the implode it all to found the foundation and build back up more than any team in the league. That's what the Jets need. And now they got 5 first-round picks to work with, and like 2 seconds in this year's draft and 2 seconds in 2027's draft. So obviously they need to nail the picks. Somebody was like, they should spend all 5 picks on quarterbacks and just one of them's got to hit, surely. But they can go get who they want to get. So Darren Muji now is playing with Play-Doh. He can make whatever he wants. And I'm really looking forward to how the Jets do this, because I think they have the infrastructure to do it. But you're looking at the team that's probably going to pick first in the draft. Like, I don't see how they were going to win another game this year, but that's aside from the point. I think that I am a fan. I know I'm a fan of what the Jets did yesterday. But in 2 years, if we look back on this and they drafted 7 busts with all these first and second round picks, that's a problem.
Yeah, fascinated to see how it pays off for Indianapolis, really going all in on the Daniel Jones experiment here.
I think if anybody got hosed, it might have been the Colts. 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks was
crazy.
But they did address an area of need for a team that does look like it could contend for the Super Bowl now. Until we saw what we saw last week against Pittsburgh. I don't know. We're going to find out. To your point, the defense was fine. Can't turn the ball over 6 times.
Yeah.
So where can they find us?
They can find us at Got It Covered FB on all social media platforms, wallowing in our own self-pity, at least on my end. By the way, I like how we did all this. We didn't even talk about the Bengals and the Bears because
great game.
Because as fun as that game was, poverty teams. But crazy game.
Bears
Cincinnati,
I needed 3.
I know, but nobody thinks they're all that. For a team that's 5-3, since you could have done me one goddamn solid and you couldn't do it. Credit to Caleb, by the way, he's played 2 good games this year. They're against the 2 worst defenses in the league. But when he plays like that, balloons pop up because it's a reason to celebrate. So at Got It Covered FB on all socials. Maybe we'll turn into Caleb Williams supporters in the not too distant future.
Poor Flacco. Dude throws for almost 500 yards and 4 touchdowns and still can't get
on my fantasy bench.
Yeah, there you go. Well, as always, we got you covered.